Ken Austin will be the starting quarterback for BC, but earlier during the year, as the noise meter gets up to unbearable range, and we're underway, the 1994 Grey Cup. This is Spencer McClellan from the 10, and he goes down at the 31-yard line. 61-yard kick, 18-yard return. Offensively, this is the offense for BC.
Start off with Rob Smith and Vic Stevenson, 14 and 13-year veterans respectively. In the backfield, Corey Philpott has got to have a big game. He's been shut down late in the season. And at wide receiver, of course, we're looking at number 82, Darren Flutie, and don't forget about Ray Alexander.
Ken Austin, the quarterback for BC. He suffered
Let's get the rest of it in.
third-degree shoulder separation towards the end of the year. Missed games at the end of the year. Last week hurt his shoulder. Danny McManus, as you know, came in and led him to a victory. And there's a big difference between these two quarterbacks. Danny McManus, the second stringer, Ken Austin, the starter.
Well, the reason they really wanted Ken Austin in, number one, he's your starting quarterback, and secondly, he gets the ball off a lot more quickly than Danny McManus does. He's a rhythm passer, and they don't want this talented Baltimore defensive line getting upfield against him.
Ken Austin has thrown for 4,193 yards on the year, and he's throwing on first down. Has it complete to Matt Clark. Clark ahead to the 41-yard line. Carl Anthony and Ken Watson there. Defensively, this is how Baltimore will break down.
Up front, the key man is number 98, Gerald Bayless. He's the 93 CFL MVP. At linebacker, one of my favorite players in the league, Matt Goodwin, Rookie of the Year. And in the secondary, all-East free safety, Michael Brooks is the player.
Gain of 9 on the last play makes it second down and 1 from the BC 42. Play action. They go underneath, and this is Ray Alexander with the reception at the 44-yard line of Baltimore. Carl Anthony with the tackle, 25-yard reception for the former Rattler from Florida A&M.
This is the guy they got to get going. Darren Flutie has carried this receiving score in the playoffs. They need Ray Alexander, who's a very talented athlete, to get involved in this offense. And Gus, one other point we ought to make on the opening kickoff, Charles Anthony went down for Baltimore. Stan Petrie, the backup corner, is now in at halfback, number 6.
First down from the 43. This is Philpott dancing through the middle, but he's tackled. Gain of possibly 2, Matt Goodwin, the CFL's most outstanding rookie, with the tackle.
And that's a name you're going to hear a lot today, Matt Goodwin. Not only is he the best special teams player in the league this year, but he's also one of the best linebackers. This kid's future is unlimited.
Gain of 3, second down 7 from the Baltimore 40.
Isolate 6.
Austin to the far sideline, incomplete. Matt Clark, the intended receiver. And that will bring up a third down situation for BC. Baltimore defense holding them out of the end zone on their first drive of the game.
There's the corner route right there. Tough catch for just off Darren Flutie's fingertips. That's his favorite route. Gus, we saw that last week. He scored 2 touchdowns on that corner route.
Louis Pasaglia in to attempt a 47-yard field goal. 19-year CFL veteran. And it's good. Louis Pasaglia, Pro Football's all-time leading scorer, makes it a 3-0 game with 12 minutes and 36 seconds remaining in the first quarter of the 1994 Grey Cup.
It's a solid start there for the BC Lions, taking the ball down the field. Kent Austin doing what he does best, which is being a rhythm thrower, delivering the ball on time before that defensive line from Baltimore has a chance to get in his face.
So the Baltimore kick receiving team comes onto the field, and you'll have a chance to see this offense that has shattered a lot of records rushing the football this year behind Mike Pringle. The scoring drive for BC, 5 plays, 37 yards. and it takes him 2 minutes and 22 seconds to get into the end zone.
Gus, it'll be interesting to find out what the injury is to starting defensive back Charles Anthony, because that group, that starting five, started all 18 games this year for Baltimore. They're not used to playing with strange people in that secondary.
Since 1950, 8 teams have hosted their own Grey Cup, but only 3 have won. Lester Smith trying to turn the corner, and Smith knocked out of bounds at the 36-yard line. 18-yard return. Sean Foudy with the tackle. Offensively for Baltimore, led by Tracy Ham.
Huge offensive line led by the offensive lineman of the year, Shar Perdanish. Their backfield, Michael Pringle, we've talked about him with 1,972 yards this year. And the guy that really needs to have a big game, wide receiver Chris Armstrong. He led the league with a 22-yard average per reception.
And so for the first time, the noise factor comes into play for Tracy Ham and the Baltimore CFLs. From the 36. Ham spotting up, and this one intercepted. James Jefferson, one-handed interception at the 50-yard line.
Replay. James Jefferson is a 9-year veteran, and this is a veteran play. They're in a 2-deep zone. He's going to collapse back underneath and make a one-handed interception. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a great athletic play right there by James Jefferson.
James Jefferson spent 5 years with Seattle, out of Texas A&I, his second interception of the year.
Look at that play.
So Ken Austin gets great field position at the Baltimore 47. And he has it complete underneath again to Yo Murphy, the little slot back out of Idaho.
You know, last week, Yo Murphy stepped in for Mike Trevathan, had a nice game in the snow against Calgary. He had 4 catches, did a heck of a job taking some of the pressure off Darren Flutie.
Gain of 9, second down 1 from the 38. And all week long, head coach Dave Ritchie for BC wanted to let his team know that it's important to score quickly and keep Baltimore out of the end zone. This is Sean Millington, the fullback at the 30. Millington pounding ahead to the 23-yard line. Carl Anthony with the tackle.
This guy is the key to the running attack. Corey Philbott gets all the attention. This guy's got great blocker. He catches the football out of the backfield, and when they give him the football, he knows what to do with it. Nice block up front by number 60, Jamie Tarris, that seals the corner, allows Millington in the backfield. At 225 pounds, he's a load.
Gains 15. Sean Millington rushed for 522 yards on the year, did not fumble once. Here's Austin, plenty of time, going in the end zone for Alexander. And it's intercepted. Carl Anthony makes the interception in the end zone. So with 10 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in the first quarter, 2 turnovers already.
Talk about athletic plays, Gus.
10 minutes, 23 seconds remaining in the first quarter of play. 3-0 your score.
Generally look for a little possession pattern underneath.
From the 47. Philpott picks up the first. Philpott at the 50. And Philpott, Corey Philpott, down inside the 45-yard line. 20-yard gain for Corey Philpott.
Critical play to get Corey Philpott involved. The key block, number 60, Jamie Tarris, pulling right there to the left of your screen. He's going to block 39, Matt Goodwin. The arm tackle by Gravely won't work. And a 20-yard gain by Corey Philpott. If they get that kid involved in the game, they're going to be a tough offense to stop, Gus.
Philpott broke the club record for rushing this year with 1,451 yards. First down. Austin going to the far side, incomplete. Yo Murphy, the intended receiver.
That's an interesting play. They go trips to the field, and the two out inside guy and the outside guy both run 5-yard stops, allowing Murphy the entire field to work man-to-man on Ken Watson. Watson was kind of all over him there on that also. Take a look. You got two guys running the stop. Now watch Watson, 33. There goes one hand. There goes the other. I think they're going to call that no interference only because the ball was not catchable.
Ray Alexander splits out to the near side. 2nd and 10. Austin, incomplete, intended for Flutie. Charles Anthony right on his heels. Doug Flutie's little brother Darren is going to draw a lot of attention today.
And watch Darren right here, man-to-man with Anthony. Anthony's a very physical guy, and he's going to make it difficult. Darren Flutie's not a big guy, 5'10", 180, and the game plan for Baltimore is a lot of man-to-man, and they're going to use Charles Anthony and Ken Watson, the two inside halfbacks, to try and beat on him.
So Louis Bisaccia comes in to attempt a 49-yard field goal. 2nd of the game, and this one will be short. Lester Smith inside the 5. Smith breaking it upfield and finally goes down at his own 30-yard line. The 28-yard return for Lester Smith. David Shaders with the tackle.
It was poor, uncharacteristically poor coverage by BC on that. Ended up with nose guard David Shaders having to make an open field tackle. And if you're BC, you don't want to see that one, Gus.
39 seconds remaining in the first quarter of play of the 1994 Grey Cup. BC Lions trying to win the Cup for the first time since 1985 when then coach Don Matthews roamed the sideline.
Let's see if they get Robert Drummond involved here.
Ham to Pringle, and Pringle picks away, and he gets to the 39-yard line before being tackled. Doug Peterson cuts him down.
They actually used Robert Drummond to clear out that area and throw the ball underneath the Pringle. Both of these running backs are excellent receivers out of the backfield, and that's kind of another factor that BC's got to deal with. Do you cover these guys with linebackers, or do you use defensive backs?
Mike Pringle, disappointed in not receiving the CFL's Most Outstanding Player Award, felt that he deserved the honor. Went to Doug Flutie for the 4th time. 2nd down and 2.
And listen to this, the fans again. Incredible home field advantage.
Pringle having problems getting outside, and Mike Pringle goes down. James Jefferson coming out of his left quarterback position to make the tackle, and the noise is starting to get crazy in here. We're getting ready for the second quarter of play, and we'll be back after this. 3-0 your score, and earlier today, this is what BC Place looked like, but it didn't take long for the fans to fill the stadium up, and they're watching their Lions lead Baltimore 3-0 as we get ready to begin the second quarter.
You know, Gus, this is a great venue to watch a football game because it's designed for football only. There's no baseball here, and there's not a bad seat in the house.
Josh Miller at his own 21. Flutie and Spencer McClellan back deep for BC. High spiraling kick. McClellan from the 22. And Spencer McClellan goes down at the 27-yard line. 51-yard punt by Miller. 6-yard return. Home sweet home. Montreal, Hamilton, Toronto all have won Grey Cups at home, but officially BC is not the home team. The Eastern Conference representative is the home team this year, but obviously They are playing at home.
It's kind of ironic to be wearing your white away jerseys here at your home palace, but that's the way it is here in the CFL.
Surprised at the score right now, only 3-0.
Well, they're kind of feeling each other out a little bit, Gus. You know, they had a game back in October, but completely different in the cup.
Sean Millington going straight ahead, and he barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. Robert Pressberry and Gerald Bayless there to tackle him. And statistically, in the first quarter, 17 plays, 10 for Baltimore. Things look pretty even, except for the passing yardage.
Oh, obviously, the total yards, obviously, the passing yards favoring BC, and Tracy Ham has yet to get on track for Baltimore. And what Tracy's got to do is he's got to get on the corner with play action.
Gain of 2, 2nd and 8. Gerald Bayless, the one-time Defensive Player of the Year in this league. Austin for Flutie. Incomplete. Darren Flutie covered nicely by Michael Brooks, first-year player out of North Carolina State.
That's the second time they've tried to run the corner route, and as I said earlier, he loves this route. There's the cut to the middle, the break back outside, the contact, which is legal by Watson. He's going to get help from the free safety over the top, Michael Brooks. Gus, they call that robber coverage. There are two safeties. One takes middle deep, the other takes middle short, and that time the deep middle guy, Michael Brooks, did a nice job coming over the top.
Louis Pasaglia at the 6, and talking to some of the Baltimore players, they're going to make sure that Flutie doesn't beat him this year for this game. Not a bad punt by Pasaglia from the 45. Lester Smith.
Good tackle by Ricardo Washington right there.
5-yard return by Lester Smith. And Baltimore will start.
You know what Louis Pasaglia does well? He doesn't have the leg strength that he used to punting the ball, but he's a good directional kicker. You see what he did there was aim it away from the return man to give them the maximum chance to cover.
Baltimore will start from their own 49-yard line. Incomplete, intended for Walter Wilson. Tracy Ham released the football a little low.
Henry Newby was coming from the strong side on the blitz. The hot man was Walter Wilson. I'm a little surprised. Tracy Ham is just not getting the football out there in a catchable position so far.
Brings up 2nd down and 10. Ham will operate out of the shotgun, has completed only 1 pass so far. Gets out of the pocket, fires, and it looks to be a completed pass. And it is Walter Wilson, gain of 16 yards, and he picks up a 1st down.
Exactly what we're talking about, getting him out in the corner. We're going to go reverse angle so you can see him coming towards the camera. That's the dash play. They block, contain, get Tracy on the corner, run the deep curl route to Walter Wilson. And Gus, that's when Baltimore's their best. Get the good athlete on the corner.
Walter Wilson, a Baltimore native, East Carolina's all-time leading receiver. From the 45 on 1st down. Ham, nobody to throw it to. Buying time, scampers out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Angelo Snipes and Doug Peterson in hot pursuit.
BC is generally a zone team. That time they went man-to-man coverage. I think it gave him a little something to think about. Watch this. It's man-to-man coverage. Tracy's looking strong side the whole way. He's got plenty of time, but this is where Tracy Ham is dangerous. It's a great athlete. Doesn't see anything down the field. Makes a good decision not to throw the ball and takes what the defense will give him.
Good coverage by the secondary of BC. Makes it 2nd and 5.
And we talked about that in the pregame show down on the field. Doug Flutie and our guys down there talked about the escapability of Tracy Ham.
And Tracy Ham still finding it hard to connect with his receivers. That's Robert Drummond out of the backfield. The first-year CFL player out of Syracuse, replacing Peter Tuipulotu.
And that's interesting. What they did was they took their fullback, Drummond, and put him out at wide receiver, isolated on Lester Brown. what's interesting about that is that Robert Drummond has world-class speed. He runs a 4.3 40, and they want to get him involved in the pass attack.
That brings on Donald Igwebuike, who won the game last week for Baltimore with a 54-yarder with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in the ball game. This a 47-yard field goal attempt. Short. McClennon takes it out of the end zone. And finally goes down at his own 11. 11 minutes, 42 seconds left in the second quarter. It's been a defensive game. BC leads it 3-0. 3-0 your score, but Baltimore inside the 10-yard line of BC, courtesy of Walter Wilson, who came up with a big reception, but he goes down. It looks like he's having problems with his right leg.
You know, Gus, they've had a lot of problems with injuries to the wide receivers this year. They lost B.K. Williams, their most veteran wide receiver, during warm-ups for the first football game. And what I think we're going to see is Mike Alexander stepping in for Walter Wilson.
But with Mike Pringle in the ball game at tailback, it takes a lot of pressure off of the receivers on Baltimore's squad. And in this game, you see the top two rushers in the Canadian Football League, Mike Pringle and Corey Philpott. Second down and goal from the BC 6. Blitz gets it off anyway, and it's incomplete. But there is a flag on the play. Barry Wilburn will be called for defensive pass interference.
You know, I want to see this one again, Gus. I watched Wilburn the whole time there. I don't know if he got him early or not. I thought that was excellent man-to-man coverage. Now they'll put that ball on the 1-yard line. Here it is, the contact. That contact's okay, but I guess pulling on the jersey right there with the left hand is not. That's a veteran play, but Gussie got caught that time.
So they move it down to the 1-yard line. First down. Pringle. Baltimore players raising their hands.
Dave Ritchie saying, Don Matthews saying,
He will be short of the goal line.
That's that deep I formation they call scatter again, and when everybody starts coming front side, you know where it's coming. The handoff to Pringle, good play inside. He gets nowhere.
Makes it second and goal. Pringle again, and he's tackled. Rather, Tracy Ham with the play action, and he gets into the end zone, fooled everybody, including myself. Tracy Ham.
But the key, Gus, was the guy who fooled, not you. It was Angelo Snipes. Angelo Snipes is the outside linebacker. He tackled the play fake, and Tracy Ham was able to walk right into the end zone. That's an excellent call by Baltimore. Watch the fake right here. You'll see 91 tackle play fake, and when that happens, the play's over.
Fake the cameraman out as well, so I don't feel so bad.
But the key was Angelo Snipes. He's got contained on the play. He made the tackle on the play fake, and at that point, it's all over.
Ham's touchdown makes it a 6-3 game. Donald Igwebuike in to attempt the extra point. And he nails it. 6 minutes, 13 seconds remaining in the first half of play, and Baltimore finally getting their offense together. They go ahead 7-3. 6 minutes, 13 seconds remaining in the first half. Baltimore leads it 7-3. Spencer McClennon from the 15. And he goes down. Matt Goodwin on special teams again with the tackle.
That's a good look there at Sheldon Canley, but the guy that really made the hit there was the guy we've talked about all day, Matt Goodwin. Look at this. Bang! Hey, Matt Goodwin can play for me anytime, any place, in any league. He's really something.
First down and 10 from the 35-yard line for Ken Austin, who finished the year 3rd in the CFL in passing. This one intercepted. Alvin Walton pitches it to Carl Anthony. Anthony at the 20, heading for the end zone. Touchdown, Baltimore. And you don't hear a lot of noise in BC Place right now as Alvin Walton, the former Washington Redskin, comes up with the huge interception.
This is a veteran play, somebody that's played in a couple Super Bowls. They call him dirty. Alvin Walton steps in front, the former defensive back. Now he's a linebacker. Watch the pitch. Great pitch play, right to Carl Anthony, and it's a touchdown. You can't say enough for Alvin Walton on that football play. He made the great break on the ball, and then he dished it off to Anthony for a touchdown. Kind of like you back in high school, Gus, dishing to the halfback.
And Igwebuike will try to add the extra point. Alvin Walton missed 4 games with a hamstring injury, but starred on special teams when he came back, and now he's in the middle and coming up with big plays.
You know, I think the point to be made right now is how Don Matthews built this club. And what he did was he built it on speed. And he took former defensive backs like Alvin Walton and Tracy Gravely and Matt Goodwin, made them linebackers. Look at the break on the football. That doesn't look like a middle linebacker. And then the dish. That's an athletic play, and that's the way this club was built. They've got 3 linebackers, all of whom used to be defensive backs. Flutie with the tackle. He thinks it's all over, but no, the dish back. And Gus, you might even run it in from there, pal.
Ken Austin, however, on the other hand, throws the interception, his first of the game. He threw 24 touchdowns, second of the game, rather. He threw 24 touchdowns during the regular season, but also threw 22 interceptions.
Very quick 14 points. We went from a 3-0 advantage to 14-3 in a matter of a minute and a half or so. Don't be surprised if this game starts to get out of hand if you don't see Danny McManus, the ultimate relief pitcher.
Fans here at BC Place stunned as the Baltimore CFLs have taken a 14-3 lead. McLennan from the 23. Gets up past the 35, finally down at the 37-yard line. 14-yard return.
And he was running with those little scared feet right there because Matt Goodwin was coming in again. Look at the first half possessions, Gus. The first drive resulted in a field goal, and since then it's been 2 interceptions, a missed field goal, and a punt. Baltimore's starting to catch their stride right now, and if you're BC, what you need is you need to establish a long drive and try and get the crowd back in it.
From the 37. Philpott, straight ahead, plenty of room. Corey Philpott to the 50. Gain of 12. Alfred Payton with the tackle.
I like the call. 1st and 10, come back to Corey Philpott, let that big offensive line try and get a push, because Baltimore's defensive line's coming hard upfield. You cut them out, and you run right up inside of them. Good block by Jamie Tarras, number 60, who so far is having a good football game.
Another first down for Ken Austin and the BC Lions from the 49. Philpott dancing outside, cuts it back in, finally goes down at the Baltimore 50. Tracy Gravely with the tackle.
You know, I talked to the coaches on this BC club and some other coaches around the league, and what they tell me about Jamie Tarras, the offensive guard, is he's a bulldog. There's the pull right there by 53, Chronopoulos, the other guard. He gets the hook on Goodwin, and that's Millington into the open field for another big game.
This BC team has no problems playing from behind. They've managed to come back and win after trailing twice during the playoffs, and I'm sure at home they won't have any problems with it either.
Gus, that's a great point. And this guy is kind of symptomatic of the way this club reacts to adversity. He's a 7-year veteran, all 7 years at BC, and he's just an absolute tenacious bulldog, just like this football club is.
And on second down, they're 3 of 8 on conversions from the 51. Obviously, for BC, 2-down territory. And they get it. Sean Millington picks up the first down. Robert Pressberry with the tackle. Millington, 4 carries, 27 yards.
The big fellows on the right side, Tarris and Stevenson with the push, allowing Millington at 225 pounds to push the pile forward enough for the first down.
So after giving up a touchdown on a Ken Austin interception, the Lions have come back, and they are putting together a drive from the 49. Draw play, Millington. Tackle from behind. Looks like Peyton with the tackle.
Gus, I like what BC's doing right now. What they're doing is they're trying to take Baltimore out of the momentum, reestablish the running attack, and then I think we'll see Austin with the short possession passing again.
The BC Lions offense, they're averaging 411 yards in total offense per game, and they're averaging 123 yards rushing. And this pass is incomplete, intended for Matt Clark.
You know, that's one guy.
So we're at the 3-minute warning with your score. Baltimore leading the BC Lions 14-3.
Anytime Baltimore is in a punt return situation, you've got to watch 39, Matt Goodwin. Baltimore blocked 7 kicks this year. 5 of those 7 were punts, and all 5 were returned for touchdowns. And let me tell you this, Matt Goodwin was involved either blocking or returning 4 of the 5 kicks. This kid is special.
Pasaglia at the 50. Lester Smith standing at his own 8.
And that's how much respect BC has. They just brought everybody in a tight formation, even though it's a return.
Still get good pressure. Pasaglia to the near side. And this one goes out of bounds inside the Baltimore 10. The veteran, Louis Pasaglia, 40-yard punt, but more importantly, angles it out of bounds. And with another comment, our Chris Cuthbert on the sidelines. Chris?
Gus, there's a little question about the football. They've got a gold emblem on these Grey Cup footballs, and Tracy Ham just pointed out to the officials that it's causing a little bit of a slippery situation for the quarterbacks. At least Ham says he's having trouble delivering the ball.
Well, we'll have to keep an eye on his passes here, but he's going to let Mike Pringle run the football. And he's tackled hard by Andrew Stewart.
Big left guard there. Guy Earl did a great job pulling. Kind of interesting, Gus. You think of the Canadian Football League and you think of wide open passing and up and down the field, but the 2 teams that made it here are the 2 best rushing teams in the league. Look at number 60, Guy Earl, 310 pounds. 66 is Neil Fort. They got him listed, Gus, at 310. He's 350 if he's an ounce.
Gain of only 1. Second down and 9. Ham over the middle, intercepted. Charlie Gordon into the end zone. Touchdown, BC. 17-yard return.
no problem holding on to that slippery football, did he? So far, the story of this football game has been the defensive backs and the linebackers. Live action. Here comes Gordon. A good block at the end by Stort allows him into the end zone.
And Louis Passaglia nails the extra point.
Looking at the weak side of the play here. Going to get a good push. And watch the pattern from the right side of your screen develop, and Charles Gordon with the break on the football. Tracy Ham's looking the whole way, The ball's thrown way behind. Charles Gordon makes the play. And Gus, if you remember, Charles Gordon's the guy that made the interception at the end of the Edmonton game in the first round of the playoffs. Here comes the pressure. Number 91, Angelo Snipes with a big hit. That forces the errant throw. And defense is all coordination. You can't make that kind of play in the backfield without help up front. Forces him to elevate the football and throw it where he doesn't want to. Gordon makes the easy interception, and now he's a running back. And like I started to say, Gus, he made the big play at the end of the Edmonton game that set up the field goal that got him into the second round of the playoffs.
Charles Gordon had 8 interceptions during the regular season. None more important than the one to make this a 14-10 ball game. Here's Smith. And he gets to the 50-yard line. Henry Newby with the tackle, 26-yard return, 51-yard kick.
Gus, it's been a game of turnovers. Offenses have not been consistent, and the big plays have been provided by linebackers and defensive backs, and we already have 2 interception returns for touchdowns.
But another big play, Louis Passaglia with that punt, pinning him deep inside the Baltimore 10.
Don't ever overlook special teams and their importance in professional football.
2 minutes, 6 seconds remaining in the half. Tracy Ham gets it back on his own 50. 4 receivers to the near side. Ham has it complete to Joe Washington at the 50. Washington still on his feet, finally goes down. Les Brown, the 11-year veteran, with the tackle, but it's a gain of 17.
Virgil Robinson put some heat on, but Joe Washington in a blitz situation has man-to-man coverage, does a nice job, and then he's a big, strong guy, and he's going to look to run some people over. Almost lost the football at the end of that play.
First reception of the day for Joe Washington. First down from the 43. Play action. Ham almost had it picked off. Les Brown, the CFL's all-time leader in interceptions, barely missed picking up his 12th of the year.
And Les wanted another one for the trophy case. Here's the bootleg. He's trying to throw the ball over Lester's head. Good break on the football by Lester, and just misses it.
What are the Lions doing to confuse Tracy Ham?
Well, they're mixing up their coverage. They're predominantly a zone team, but they're playing a little more man-to-man than they usually do.
2nd and 10 from the 43. Quick screen to Drummond. Drummond has room at the 30. Drummond with a lane. Finally dragged down at the 11-yard line. Robert Drummond, a big 31-yard reception.
Gus, we saw him accelerate 2 weeks ago against Toronto. There it is, a little slip screen pass. 6'3", 215 pounds, and he runs 4.25. That is flying, ladies and gentlemen.
Drummond spent time with the Philadelphia Eagles, the 7th leading rusher in Syracuse history.
There it is.
First down and 10 yards to go from the BC 11. 14-10 is your score. Pringle, inside handoff. He's tackled from behind. Doug Peterson with the initial contact, followed up by Tom Europe.
Heck of a play by Doug Peterson, their defensive tackle. 6'5", 290. And when you get down in the red zone, if they run the football, you've got to stay low and penetrate. And that's exactly what Peterson did.
Peterson, a rookie out of Simon Fraser here in Vancouver. Makes it 2nd and 9 from the 10. BC fans calling for a stop. Ham spots up, and it's incomplete. Intended for Drummond. Beautiful coverage by Tom Europe.
Red zone situation, man-to-man. Tracy Ham went weak side the whole way. They had trips up top, and then they're coming back the other way. Look at the penetration there. Tracy Ham's not getting a whole lot of time to throw the football, but they ran Robert Drummond underneath, and real good coverage by free safety Tom Europe in a man-to-man situation.
Tom Europe, the only Canadian in the defensive backfield for BC, and he's the youngest member at free safety.
But he had 10 starts as a rookie, so he really is a seasoned veteran by now.
Donald Igwebuike in to attempt a 17-yarder. And the kick is good, but there are flags on the play.
Field goal is good. Flag on the play.
It was a 3rd and 8 situation. I don't think you'll see them take points off the board.
BC, number 00, decline. Field goal is good.
Lester Brown jumped the gun on the corner trying to block the kick. 5-yard penalty. You don't take points off the board in that situation to give yourself a 3rd and 3.
17-yarder, good by Donald Igwebuike, makes it a 17-10 ball game with 52 seconds remaining in the first half of play of the 1994 Grey Cup. The scoring drive, 6 plays, 50 yards. They score in 1 minute and 12 seconds on a Donald Igwebuike 17-yard field goal.
But until you turn around, Gus, and somebody scores, don't they?
Austin to the far side. This one picked off.
And Austin is down.
Ken Watson, 3rd interception of the game. And Ken Austin is down at the 25. Ill-advised pass by the veteran quarterback.
Ill-advised, to say the least, Gus. In that type of situation, you don't. There's Danny McManus, who will be in momentarily. But at the end of the half, when the ball's delivered late in the flat, you don't ever do that. And I'm really surprised to see a veteran like Ken Austin deliver that football.
Ken Austin has had problems during the second half of the season with his shoulder. Suffered a 3rd-degree separation.
Watch the penetration here. He's going to throw the ball late. And here comes the pick. Kenny Watson gets plenty of time to make a play on the football. And now we'll take a look at the contact. Watch Alfred Payton, defensive end, make his way up the field, and he buries him along with Robert Pressbury. And that left shoulder has been separated for a good portion of the second half of the season. And I venture to say, Gus, that's the 3rd interception in the first half. With or without the shoulder, I think we're going to see Danny McManus.
Ken Austin, who won a Grey Cup in 1989 with Saskatchewan, walked off the field, and Danny McManus, the former star at Florida State, who played with the Kansas City Chiefs for 2 years.
But that's like having Raleigh Fingers coming off the bench. He's the ultimate relief pitcher in the CFL.
The super sub is what they call him. But Baltimore has a chance to get on the scoreboard again with 46 remaining, but Tracy Ham is going to throw this one out of bounds. But there is a penalty flag on the play.
They're going to call intentional grounding. He was in the grasp. Gosh, you and I both know that he was throwing the football away, but I'm surprised to see the call in this situation.
Intentional grounding. Baltimore number 8. 2nd down. 2nd down.
That becomes a loss of down in addition to distance, so that's why that's such a critical penalty to an offense. Not only do you lose the distance, you lose the down. This is a dash play, good block by Pringle, but here comes linebacker Newby, Henry Newby does a good job. The ball's delivered up in the upper deck, and they throw the flag.
Second down, long from the BC 46. Pressure, Drummond with the reception, but he will not pick up the first down. Gets down to the 40-yard line. Angelo Snipes and Tony Collier with the tackle, gain of 6.
Little quick screen here. The timing was bad. He ended up ahead of his blocker there, Neil Fort, number 66. And when you're ahead of your blocker, you got no shot on a screen pass. Look at the big fella. There he is. They got him listed at 310. Gus, 6'7". He's got to be 350, doesn't he? Look at him.
Donald Igwebuike in to attempt a 47-yard field goal. Spencer McClellan back deep. This one wide to the right.
You got to get out.
Gets it out of the end zone. Still on his feet, McClellan up to the 20 and finally wrestled down to the 24. 31-yard return.
Excellent play by McClellan because he knew that if he stayed in the end zone, he would have given up the single point.
And for an update on Kid Austin, our Chris Cuthbert is on the sidelines.
Well, Gus, the fear is that the shoulder's been separated again, but they are not making that official yet. They want to get a good look at him in the locker room at halftime, but for the moment, it appears like Kid Austin may not be back.
And as you can tell, Danny McManus has been announced as the replacement for Kid Austin. Backup quarterback, most popular guy in town, but they have a good reason with Danny McManus.
Yeah, he's just going to sit on it here, but we'll talk a little bit about McManus at halftime and the difference in the offense when he's at quarterback.
So McManus takes a knee on first down. The referee winds the clock back up, and this will be your last play of the first half.
And he will take a knee again as Darren Flutie is in the defensive safety position.
That is the end of the first half of play with your score 17-10 Baltimore. After one half, your assessment.
At this point, my concern is that Austin had a very un-Austin-like first half, Gus.
Our Chris Cuthbert is on the sidelines with Les Brown.
Les, secondary really dominated that first half.
Yeah, well, we got to keep playing. They're getting a little bit of us on that hitch screen. We got to get our linebackers to come out and try to make a play because we're going to cut it back into them. Charlie Gordon came up with a big play, put us in the end zone to get us back on top. Now we need some offensive help.
Got to come back again.
Cardiac Kids, one more time.
Good luck. Gus.
Thank you, Chris. The Cardiac Kids from North Carolina State, maybe from Vancouver today. Your score, 17-10, and we're at halftime. So we're ready to start the second half from Vancouver. And Lester Smith goes down. Ryan Hansen with the tackle, 13-yard return, 50-yard kick.
Special teams can often set the tone for the beginning of a half, and that's a great hit by Ryan Hansen to start the half.
Ken Austin played the first half. He's out with a separated shoulder, and there are the numbers pretty even for both teams, although Ham, with the big completion to Walter Wilson, leads in yardage.
Bad job with interceptions, and Ken Austin, that was not a typical Ken Austin first half.
First down, 10 yards to go from the 39 for the CFL. Pringle. And Pringle is tackled by Andrew Stewart. Gains 2, possibly 3 yards.
I anticipated Baltimore to want to come out here and reestablish the running attack, but they're not going to be able to with that front seven, and what they're doing is cheating some extra guys up also. But that leaves them 2nd and 10, disadvantageous down in position.
How much does the surface come into play for the defensive line of BC?
BC loves this surface. It's a quicker surface. They felt like they were a disadvantage at Baltimore on that heavy grass field.
2nd and 10 from the 39. No gain on the last play. Ham under pressure. Scampers out of the pocket, picks up the first down and some. Tracy Ham down inside the 50-yard line of BC. Gain of 22. Henry Newby with the tackle.
And Gus, you alluded in the first half to the X factor, and that's, I truly believe, Tracy Ham is the one thing that BC can't account for. Nobody open, take the ball down, and now he runs about a 4.6 40, even though he's an 8-year veteran. Get in the open field and pick up 22 yards.
Listening to some of the coaches that have attended this game from other CFL teams, they say that Tracy Ham, when he's running the football, is probably the most dangerous quarterback other than Doug Flutie in the league. Here's Pringle to the 40. Tripped up by Tom Europe.
Now this is a Baltimore drive. You have Tracy Ham with the scramble, then you go right back to the running game and you try and reestablish Michael Pringle. Let's not forget this offensive line averages 300 pounds. They're going up against a defensive line that only averages about 260. Newby, the linebacker, overruns it, and it forces Europe to make the one-on-one tackle.
Gain of 8 yards. Second down, 2 from the BC 41. Movement on both lines, and we'll have to wait for the officials to sort it out.
I thought BC jumped first, but John Earl, number 63, jumped late. The offensive guard for Baltimore.
Tracy Ham, out of Georgia Southern, 8th season. Played for Irk Russell and won a national championship while there.
Yeah, I thought BC jumped first. Earl jumped after contact was already made. You know what was so uncharacteristic about Tracy Ham throwing 2 interceptions in the first half? He only had 13 in the entire 18-game season.
The lowest amount of interceptions in the Canadian Football League for a quarterback. But right now, Ham's team leads at 17-10. 3 receivers to the near side. Ham can't find anybody. Gets out of the pocket, runs again. And will be 2 yards short of the first down. Doug Peterson with the tackle.
Tracy Ham being much more aggressive this half, and that's what Baltimore has to do to win this football game. He wanted Chris Armstrong, who was one-on-one, man-to-man with Charles Gordon. Gordon took it away. Ham tucked the ball and does what he does best. Get out to the corner and run the football. They've got their short yardage group coming in now, Gus. They've got Canley at fullback, and they bring the big fellas in up front.
Out of the ball game, Robert Clark, along with Robert Drummond. During the regular season, Ham, when he does decide to run, picks up yards in bunches.
I'd love to see play action here at second and a long one. I don't think we will, but if it is, it's going to be man-to-man coverage.
Drummond looking for Ham on the backside, but he takes it at the 20-yard line, and he gets out of bounds at the 15. Angelo Snipes forces him out of bounds. Good call, Mike Mayock.
That was interesting. Gadget play. That was supposed to be a throwback. Angelo Snipes is the guy that does the job. Robert Drummond has got to do a better job of selling that front side. That's why Snipes stayed with Ham. But let's face it, when you run a 4.25 40, it can get you out of a lot of trouble.
Picks up the first down.
I love that kind of play. Second and 1, why not?
And they'll be on the 15-yard line, driving on their first possession of the second half. Pringle going off tackle. Angelo Snipes there to tackle him. He picks up 2 possibly.
Man, he is a strong guy, Gus, for 190 pounds. Watch him continue to drive his legs. You'll see Angelo Snipes, one of the better linebackers in the league. He will handle Drummond. He pushes Drummond off. Now watch he just keeps driving. That's a tough guy at 5'9", 190. Going up another tough guy, Angelo Snipes.
Mike Pringle, 12 carries for 43 yards, and Angelo Snipes has been in his face all day. Second down and 7.
And I saw Newby coming, and I ISO'd on him the whole time. He didn't get touched coming through. There was no blitz pickup by the Baltimore offense.
Loss of 7. Henry Newby, 6'2", 231, out of Fairmount State. And when you look At the linebackers, you got 3 rookies playing.
Pringle needs to step up and make the block there. Pringle misses the block, and I'll tell you right now, Gus, the key guy in blitz pickup is your lone back. Look, step up and make the hit. Way late by Pringle, way late.
Donald Igwebuike, this one a 26-yard attempt. And he gets it. 10 minutes, 26 seconds remaining. 2nd down 8. McManus passing for the first time. And he goes down. O.J. Brigance with the sack. His 2nd of the playoffs.
That play right there highlights the soundbite we just fed you a moment earlier about speed. Watch the closing speed for O.J. Brigance. When McManus gets out of the pocket, watch how quickly on this artificial surface he closes the ground and makes the tackle. O.J. Brigance is a former linebacker playing defensive end. That's how this club is set up. Defensive backs at linebacker, linebackers and down linemen.
Loss of 4 yards brings in Louis Pasaglia to attempt a 34-yard field goal. And they fake it. Flutie with the blocker in front of him. Flutie at the 10, and he gets out of bounds at the 9. Gain of 17.
At halftime, you can see, at halftime we talked about special teams. Who's going to make the plays on special teams? That is a huge play right there. A gutsy call by that man, Dave Ritchie. You can see the seal from the left side. The 2 guys at the top of the screen from Baltimore. One will go inside, the other outside. And Flutie has got Pasaglia, who's going to pretend to block. There it goes, and run right outside of him. Louie's not going to touch anybody. He's out there just for a little window dressing.
Makes it 1st down and goal to goal from the Baltimore 9. Philpott straight up the middle towards the goal line. And he stops at the 3. Scott Miller with the tackle.
Every time you want to count these BC Lions out of a football game, that's when they come back their strongest.
And we'd like to beg your pardon, we have no graphics right now. And we're experiencing some technical difficulties, so as soon as we can, we'll get them back to you. Second down, goal to goal from the 3-yard line. Millington, and he stopped at the 1.
Matt Goodwin came knifing in from that outside linebacker position, got a piece of him and took his legs out from under him. Here's a critical call right here, Gus. You're down by 10. Watch from the right side of your screen. Matt Goodwin makes the hit and takes the legs away. And remember, in Canadian League football, the ball can never go inside the 1-yard line. So even if you get it down to the 1-inch line, they put it back on the 1.
What do you run in this situation?
I'd run play action because I don't think they're going to put it in there.
3rd and goal. And Danny McManus, touchdown BC.
Boy, it's fun sitting up here and making calls when it doesn't matter if I'm wrong.
Danny McManus with the play-action touchdown.
That is a gutsy call, whether it was by Dave Ritchie or whether Danny McManus read it at the line of scrimmage. Either way, give these Lions a ton of credit for coming back like this.
The scoring drive, 9 plays, 75 yards, 5 minutes and 5 seconds to score. Capped off by a 1-yard touchdown run from quarterback Danny McManus. And Louis Pasaglia adds the extra point. And with 5 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter, BC trails 20-17.
And don't forget what set this up. The fake field goal. Flutie puts it down. Goodwin slicing hard inside for the block. Louis Pasaglia is out and not going to touch anybody, but he doesn't have to because Darren picks up the first down and gets out of bounds. That will set up what I consider to be a great call. The fake to Millington, everybody expects it. Look at everybody going the other way for Baltimore's defense. The slowest guy in the building is going to score the touchdown.
You saw Danny McManus in the lobby, and last week Mike Mayock was teasing him about being a little chubby. But he took it in stride, didn't he?
I said, Danny, you're the only chubby quarterback I've ever seen.
So Danny on the phone talking about getting the ball to this guy a little bit more, Darren Flutie.
You know, we talked at the top of the program, I don't believe in teams of destiny, but I do believe in teams of character. And this team, this BC Lions club, has as much character as any football club I've ever been around. They are their most dangerous just when you think you knocked them out.
This is Pringle inside his own 20. Mike Pringle puts his head down, and what a collision between him and Ryan Hansen. So with 5 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the third quarter of play, your score 20-17. Back at BC Place in Vancouver, your score 20-17, 2 minutes 47 seconds remaining in the third quarter of play, and the running game is starting to come into play for BC. Sean Millington picking up a lot of yardage on their last drive.
You know, it took a lot of heat off McManus in his first big series here in the Grey Cup to have Millington and Philpott pick up the big gains, and then of course they had the fake punt, and then they put it in the end zone. But if they can continue to run the ball effectively, it's really going to set Danny McManus up.
And for more on Danny McManus, our Chris Cuthbert joins us. Chris?
Well, Gus, it's clearly Danny McManus' game right now. Just an update, though, on Kent Austin. Injury not as serious as the one in Calgary. He is available to go back into the game, but as you guys alluded to, he's a great relief pitcher. Nevertheless, we're kind of waiting to see what McManus can do through the air. That last drive was all done on the ground.
What's going through Kent Austin's mind right now, sitting on the bench in one of the biggest games of his career, knowing that he can go back in?
An incredible sense of frustration, opportunity lost. He's getting older. He might not see another Grey Cup. Very frustrated at this point and has no control of the situation.
But the seventh-year player out of Florida State takes over, and this team is very comfortable with him being in the pivot. McManus going up top, and it's caught! Ray Alexander, the great catch as he stretches out for it. 43-yard gain, and that's what Danny McManus can do.
He will get the football down the field vertically. Trips to the field, he's going to go back short side. Watch this. He looks the secondary off. Now he comes all the way back, and ladies and gentlemen, this ball is right on the fingertips. That's a one-on-one isolation on Anthony. Watch the throw, watch the catch. Gus, you don't do it any better than that in the backyard.
6'4", 205, seventh-year player Ray Alexander was the all-time leading receiver at Florida A&M in the MEAC Conference. Here's Philpott, and Philpott goes down at the 35. Alfred Payton with the tackle.
What I liked about this, Gus, is Danny McManus, being the veteran that he is, has the presence of mind to look the people off. There's the tackle by Philpott, but on the long pass, watch it. He's looking front side, the safety comes with him, and then he goes backside, and that creates one-on-one coverage, and that's just beautiful.
Danny McManus led Florida State to an 11-1 record his senior year in 1988. And he's going in the end zone again. Incomplete. Ray Alexander, the intended receiver, so they go back to the same play.
And that's fine. Even though it's incomplete, what it does, Gus, is now these defensive backs are thinking pass first and run second. So they've got a great mix going. Anthony's running underneath them. It's good coverage. And in the CFL, pretty much everything's a jump ball out there. They don't call a whole lot of interferences. Both people are pushing. McManus put the ball the only place he could be. Anthony couldn't get to it, and a great catch could.
Makes it 3rd down and 5. Louis Pasaglia in to attempt a 42-yard field goal. And this one is good. Louis Passaglia. 42-yard field goal. And with 52 seconds remaining in the third quarter of play, we've got a tie ball game.
And a little body English always works. You know, Gus, we've talked about how Baltimore built their club and the expansion team, and they deserve a lot of credit. But how about BC, led by David Ritchie, and also their general manager? We had a chance to talk with him yesterday, and Eric Tillman did a great job.
Passaglia nails the 42-yarder. And speaking of Eric Tillman, 3 years ago, this BC team had only won 3 football games, but Tillman comes in, hires Dave Ritchie. Dave Ritchie acquires his staff, known as one of the best defensive minds in the league, and they take off from there.
The common denominator between the two clubs is the decision maker hired the right coach and allowed him to make all the football decisions.
Pringle inside the 20. And Mike Pringle gets past the 35 to the 37. Sean Millington with a tackle. .37 seconds remaining in the third. Ham in trouble. Tracy Ham goes down at the 28. Doug Peterson with the sack. As you take a look at Eric Tillman, the GM for BC.
That was the dash series. They're trying to get him outside. We're going to dash series. Quarterback's trying to get to the outside, but you're going to see Chapman and you're going to see Robertson coming up hard outside and not let him outside. The whole key to the play here is 94 Henry Newby filling outside. And Peterson stays with the tackle.
Second down, 19 from the 28. Fans getting into it. Ham in trouble again. Takes it and goes down to the 35. Another great defensive effort by the Lions. Virgil Robertson with the tackle. We're at the end of 3 quarters, and your score 20-20. What a way to go into the fourth quarter of play. 1 quarter remaining, 20-20 your score, and it's been a long day for the offensive line for Baltimore. During the regular season, they only gave up 27 sacks, which was the second best in the CFL, but they've given up 3 already today.
And you've got to credit BC's front 7, not just the front 3, because as we saw in that last dash play by Tracy Ham, it was the linebackers filling that caused them to pull the ball back down. Great job by BC's front 7.
Josh Miller will punt for Baltimore, standing at his own 20. Darren Flutie back at the 35. Flutie from the 37. And he gets up to the 42-yard line. Chris, he's on the sidelines. What's happening?
There's Walter Wilson, who, remember, twisted his right ankle in the first half, hasn't been back. He wants to go back, but the coaching staff, for the time being, will not send him back in. By the way, Robert Pressbury, defensive tackle, has gone to the room. They're not saying what's wrong, but it may be just the flu. So Pressbury out for the time being.
Hey, Chris, this is Mike.
Yes, sir.
Is that why Scotty Miller has been playing along the defensive line, because Pressbury's been sick?
That's the case. They're not disclosing it, but it sounds like Pressbury's been bothered by the flu. So he's gone to the room, and Scott Miller is his replacement.
Thank you, Chris.
Danny McManus. Tie ball game at 20-20. Scored a 1-yard touchdown, and there's an injured player on the field, Scott Miller. 6'4", 285-pound first-year player out of Rutgers. He's also the long snapper.
Yeah, there's a couple things here, a couple of ramifications of these injuries. The front 4 from Baltimore is one of the strongest parts of their team. Miller's really their only backup. If he can't play, they're going to have some big problems, both along the defensive line and on the long snaps.
1 quarter remaining in the 1994 Grey Cup.
You hear the music?
The Eye of the Tiger.
Rocky Balboa.
Rocky
My
Balboa.
man from Philadelphia.
All year long.
Something about underdogs, Gus.
The BC Lions have been the underdogs. They're playing with their backup quarterback.
He's not a backup.
McManus going to throw it on first down, and what a cannon. He put it on the money to Darren Flutie. Michael Brooks with the tackle.
Hey, that chubby little kid will stay in there and take the hit every time. I really look at this. There's the chuck, deep curl route, and this ball right on the target under a lot of heat.
Gain of 17.
Watch the heat he's under, if you can see here. Good protection on that side, but on the front side, Chronopoulos, the guard pulling out in front.
First down. Millington jumping over people. Millington at the 40. Gets down to the Baltimore 35-yard line. Matt Goodwin with the tackle. Another 17-yard run.
And this offensive line for BC is starting to do the unthinkable and dominate Baltimore's defense. Watch Jamie Tarris, number 60, get out in front. Here's the block right there on Goodwin. Allows Millington to the open field, and you're not going to tackle him with arm tackle.
Sean Millington is a load, 6'2", 225.
Look who's playing defensive tackle. It's their offensive lineman of the year, Shar Pradanish.
Philpott knifing through the middle. Gets to the 22-yard line. Tracy Gravely with the tackle. Gain of 13.
We talked about the ramifications of Scotty Miller getting hit. Watch what happens in the middle. You got a guy not used to playing on the defense, and all he can do is wave as Corey blows by.
Shar Pradanish, the CFL's most outstanding lineman.
Not expecting to be on the defensive line, Gus.
First down and 10 from the 22. Millington again, but he will not go very far. Looks like O.J. Brigance with the tackle.
And Gerald Bayless, a little timing problem here. Guard pulled, but Millington stayed inside. That's a good hit. Inside, outside by Brigance and Bayless.
Big play here for the Baltimore defense. Second down and 8. On the 20.
Here's where Darren Flutie's very dangerous.
And they run the draw, and Baltimore sitting back waiting for it. Millington goes down at the line of scrimmage. Scott Miller there to make the tackle, along with Kenny Benson.
I think Danny Mack thought he had something going there. Little surprise ball on the draw, huh? And ladies and gentlemen, they're not booing here. This is Louis for Louis Pasaglia.
This will be a 27-yard field goal by Lou Pasaglia. Will they kick it this time? That's the question.
Fool me once, shame on you.
And they do. And it's good. So for the second time during this football game, BC takes the lead 23-20, and we'll be back with more after this. BC takes over on their own 23, first and 10. Philpott going outside. Driven out of bounds by Matt Goodwin. Another look at the fumble.
Tracy will scramble, and when he cuts back, Tommy York will make the tackle on the 1, but watch the hustle play. Coming in, Collier picking it up, and then we get the double penalty situation. The face mask there, and then a clip further on down the field.
Once again, we'd like to apologize. We're having technical difficulties in the graphics department, and we are still working on it. 2nd and 2.
Good hit. Gerald Bayless with the big hit.
Corey Philpott with the run. Bayless and Alfred Payton there, the 4th-year player out of Grambling, with the tackle.
You know what his nickname is, don't you?
No, you tell me.
They call him SWAC.
SWAC.
From the Southwest Athletic Conference.
That's right. Played for legendary coach Eddie Robinson.
Gus, I can't believe you didn't know his nickname was Swag, being a follower of the conference like
Well,
you
actually,
are.
I'm more of a follower of the MEAC conference.
So they call you EMAC.
MEAC.
I'm dyslexic.
Baltimore defense comes up with a big play. And Louis Passaglia enters the game, and he's standing at his own 17. Passaglia, low end-over-end kick. Lester Smith fields it at the 50. Smith over the BC 50 down to the 47-yard line. 15-yard return. And here's the man you were referring to as Swack.
Great inside burst, makes the hit. That's what it's all about right there. He makes the aggressive inside burst and puts a little bit of shock into Corey Philpott.
But it's interesting to note BC with veteran Louis Passaglia was one of the worst punting teams in the CFL, and Baltimore gets the short field here.
It's a good point, Gus. He doesn't have the leg as a punter that he used to have.
1st and 10 from the 47. Ham pumping. He's going to get outside. At the 40, Ham gets a great block down the field and is finally stepping out of bounds at the 25. But he got a tremendous block to pick up extra yardage.
Chris Armstrong put one of those absolute crushing crap-back blocks on the 21-yard gain. And yeah, that's why I like those big wide receivers, 6'2", 210. Look at the ISO you have here. Bang. Good hit by Chris Armstrong.
Chris Armstrong hadn't caught the passes he normally catches, but he's contributing in other areas. 1st down from the 26. Pringle picking his way through the hole. Gets down to the 25 before being tackled by Angelo Snipes.
And you called the name correctly, Gus. Angelo Snipes did a great job getting off the block. Not only did he beat the block, but he made the tackle. Watch him take on the block here. He's got a big size disadvantage here. 370-pound guy comes rolling off for it and makes the tackle. That is an excellent football play.
Snipes played with the Chiefs from 87 to 90 and was the special teams player of the year in 1988 for Kansas City. 2nd down 5. Pressure. Ham gets it off into the end zone. Incomplete. Joe Washington, the intended receiver, but once again, great coverage by the BC secondary.
Man-to-man coverage. Here's a good look at it. We're in man-to-man coverage. Tracy's going to step inside Henry Newby and let it go. Once again, Gus, the linebackers are the guys bringing the heat on Tracy Ham.
So Donald Igwebuike will attempt a 29-yard field goal. Backup quarterback John Conjimmy, his holder. This ball spotted on the left hash mark. And Iggy nails it. 6 minutes, 34 seconds left. We got a tie ball game. Don't go anywhere, folks. This one may go down to the finish. Okay. 1 minute, 19 seconds left in regulation. Sean Millington gets up after going down with a knee injury. Looks like he's okay. 2nd down, 12 for BC at the Baltimore 38-yard line.
They need a couple yards here.
Philpott getting outside, and he gets a couple. Down close to the 30. Corey Philpott.
What a block by Ray Alexander. But now we're going to be kind of on the watch the pulling guards, the seal on the corner. Let's see if you can see 88 deliver a block right there on Matt Goodwin. Boy, was that a crusher. The ball is spotted right now on the 30-yard line, Gus. That'll make it a 37-yard attempt.
So Louis Passaglia, who's 3 of 4 on the day, has already won 1 playoff game for BC. with a 27-yard field goal in the first round to beat Edmonton will be called upon once again with 1 minute and 13 seconds remaining. And it's no good. And Carl Anthony gets out of the end zone.
Oh, man.
So the veteran unable to come through in the clutch, but more importantly, Carl Anthony got out of the end zone and escaped the single.
Great job by Charles Anthony, but remember, there's still 1:04 minute left, and BC still has a first down left, so they can stop the clock. So with the field position right here, you can see it's kind of a knuckleball by Pasaglia. I'm very surprised he missed it just to the right of the right pipe. But with the field position, Gus, this is where you got to suck it up, stop these guys, and get the football back.
And back into the football game, Tracy Ham, injured shoulder and all, with the ball sitting on his own 2. And they keep it on the ground. Mike Pringle, the runner. Let's go down to Chris for a brief update.
Gus, I was watching Tracy Ham trying to throw the football at the sidelines, tried to throw 3 or 4, but had trouble really lifting the hand above his head, so I'm not sure what kind of shape that shoulder's in to throw in a second down situation.
Gus, on that first down play, they had 7 men up on the line of scrimmage. The play of the ball game right here.
Second down, 8 from the Baltimore 4. Ham's gonna let it go. And it's incomplete.
And it stops the clock. The incomplete pass stops the clock. 37 seconds left in the game, and Baltimore's going to have to kick the football.
So for the entire second half, Baltimore has played with the short field because of poor punting by Louis Pasaglia. The roles are reversed right now.
A lot of pressure on Miller at this point, because look where Darren Flutie's lining up on the 44-yard line, which means they're almost in field goal position just by possession.
Josh Miller, the CFL's #1 punter, standing 10 yards into his own end zone with Darren Flutie.
And keep in mind that
At the 47.
a single point, Gus, wins the football game. So it's not just a field goal they need, but a bad kick sets them up for a single also.
So far on the day, Miller, 6 punts, averaging 40 yards, his longest a 51-yarder. Not a very good kick by Miller. Flutie fields it at the 43 and goes down at the Baltimore 34-yard line. 38-yard punt by Miller, 8-yard return by Darren Flutie. And Dave Ritchie on the sidelines can feel it.
Ball's on the 34. If they don't get anywhere, that's a 41-yard attempt. Not automatic and probably not enough to get a single. So they've got to try and complete a pass here. Get the ball down another 10 or 15 yards so that they win either way, field goal or single.
Danny McManus, Louis Pasaglia, 2 of the principals. Pasaglia had a chance to take the lead, but was unsuccessful on his last field goal attempt. Philpott going outside. And he goes down at the 33. Matt Goodwin with the tackle.
Excellent tackle by Goodwin from the inside out.
And what's going through the mind of Louis Pasaglia right now? 19 years in the Canadian Football League. This possibly his last game.
I think they've got to get the football down the field to guarantee them at least a single and a win here. They can't just continue to hand the ball off.
16 seconds and counting, and they do just that. Hand it off. 11 seconds left. And And the crowd calls for the veteran, Louis Passaglia. Passaglia, 3 of 5 on the day. He's nailed 27, 42, and 47-yarders and missed 49 and 37-yarders.
And let's not forget, the key here is for him to kick it as far as he can, because even if he misses it, the cover guy's got to hustle down and try and get a single.
This for the win.